I should do this way.
Okay, I got yours.
That's great. So, Sachi, did you send me the?
Yeah, I'm
This one was coming, but you have
Okay.
No, I will.
Then my
Yes,
Gmail
yes,
account,
yes.
sangramp@gmail.com.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Send it to my
Yeah, I'm connected to you. Okay. Which one?
sangramp@gmail.com.
The questions will come first, right? Should I send the old one?
But no, don't send the old one.
Orientation unlock करियो पहले. Orient ring got orientation.
Orientation, right.
No. Okay. Orientation करथियो जी. Operation device back. Okay, I think it's doing okay.
Yeah, doing okay.
So 8 go. What lock देले हवा.
What I have the agenda from him.
If you want me to send the agenda should be in your email, Sachi.
Okay. Should I send the agenda to somebody first?
Just send all the presentation. You can just send.
The presentations.
Yeah.
Okay. We have
First send the agenda that is produced.
Gmail पे पढ़ लो, सेट कॉपी करी पढ़
So Sangram, से जो link टाको से WhatsApp group पे share कर दियो.
Just want to make sure it's on this.
Yeah, the best there is what. Okay. Thank you.
Where is Bindra? What's the first one?
He is the one.
Okay.
He has to start. Yeah.
So the teaching, so it is not actually the first one.
Oh, they're not. Okay,
The
they
second.
will
But
be
they
used.
will load it up how it is.
We can call him otherwise. Okay.
So that's mine. So that'll be later. Okay. First is Bindra. But how do you post this in WhatsApp?
Yeah, the president is here. आशा तो है संदीप बाबू खुश ले पाएंगे ओके
वाईफाई रे कनेक्ट है ना पठे दी कैसा
So
we may not have, but we will introduce them. But anyway, I don't know how it is going to happen. We had one slide prepared on.
Okay, financial को पठे दी बेबी
We'll just say the name.
Which one you have to send first?
Bindra, you're going to go first, right?
जो depend that is pen that is pen.
So, Sachi, the first document, which one is going to be sent?
You have the agenda? Agenda should be the first one.
Things have changed, right? Have we only accept the time?
Yeah.
Time has changed probably. Other
Let's
than
collect the
that,
signatures of attendees while we are waiting.
yeah, it's circulated.
So, this is the first.
But that's a email.
Why don't we do the quorum thing and check?
Again, WhatsApp. अच्छा एजेंडा पर ईमेल असला The agenda is on everybody's WhatsApp.
সেটা লিংকটা দেন. So লিখলো লিংকটা কাম করছি না নাই স্ট্রিমিংটা. You seeing a feed?
Change it. You have a new report?
The edited version. आप मुझे जो कंप्यूटर में पेज कर सकते हैं.
Again.
Email ta company.
Srivatsa
Sir, Sangram.
SRIBATSA dot das Srivatsa dot das at gmail.com. Thank you.
Let's put in GBM is underway. Please keep.
Let me send this to you.
No, no. No, no, no. It's okay.
Sangram, another one is coming from second.
Yes, yeah.
Virendra will probably send his too.
Is it still waiting or we can get?
Hey, Sangram.
हम उसे just WhatsApp रे post कर दूँगी, could be post.
signature दरकारी काम है कि
It's going on.
Virendra, what's the thing about
So this is Alina, the one you sent me, that is the first one, right?
the one I sent you from Saturday? Yes.
He has not sent it. Sangram P.
Saddam also.
Hi. Streaming.
I know that. I figured that one. Oh, ये करनी है सर. The one that I sent you comes after his. So see, I can email Karan.
I got yours.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Normally that's my design. That's my design.
I just
Seema, is Manas sending you to represent?
Who is? So who is going to?
Manas, you don't like us or what? Come up, come up, come up.
Who is the minute takers out here? So,
I will take the minutes.
so I would suggest one thing. It would, it would be both good. You can keep the minutes on the WhatsApp group itself, typing it out so that everybody is knowing.
So since we are recording, I'm going to get the minutes from the recording.
and don't rely just in case. Don't rely.
Can we
Someone, if you
designate minute taker, please? Just for this time.
Okay.
Seema, can you take the minutes?
Next second.
97, right?
I
97.
can,
Yes. Sorry,
you have a
96.
computer now?
Yes. More on 92.
Anybody got a computer to spare? A laptop to spare? No, that'll be, it'll be very hard.
Okay, so
Yeah, but
No, the miss no, just I would say type it up.
No, he's also recording, but he's saying he don't rely on.
Yeah, if the voice is bad, then you will just lose it. Right? But Sima, can you not open a Google Doc there?
Yeah, but the typing is not as fast.
Just type it out.
Okay.
Yeah, type it out.
Yeah.
It's an easy job.
Easy job, bro.
Tech job. As Birendra was speaking, just post what slides he's on.
Which slides? His slide are 15 slide achi. As Birendra is presenting, can there is a slide on the one welcome. That's it. No, nothing else, right? If anybody posts any questions out here, you can ask it and then answer. Just the answer.
So essentially, you're the WhatsApp moderator.
Yes. This is the presentation now. The next presentation also will post the day.
Yeah, because we have all the presentations. Okay.
Well, I mean,
I think just 10 more seconds
So you
then.
can just have to look at that each presentation they are doing, and they will say that we are on slide over one. That's it. We just have to.
Yeah, but if it doesn't follow, just follow out the slides. That's just how we can keep track of this.
Okay, good morning everyone.
Let me
Do your best.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you very much for attending. And we are 24 minutes late. We had issues with technical issues, so it's going to be a successful GBM since we had issues. That's always the case. Now, we have posted the slides to WhatsApp. So as we go through these, because we can't project, please follow the slides via WhatsApp. And if you have questions, you can raise your hands. I'd like to invite Dr. Santosh Mishra to be the parliamentarian. And we will. Do we need to do the quorum thing now?
Well, that's what I circulated the.
So just as a housekeeping, there is a paper being circulated. Please make sure you fill out your name. That way we will keep track of how many members were present.
going it out.
Yeah?
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll start with the president's address.
No, Santosh has to start it.
Oh,
He has to tell who has to.
Okay.
Do you have a copy of the agenda? Because I don't have it.
You don't.
Oh, you don't? I have it. I
Well,
can go
I
to
saw
it.
it on.
So,
Here, I have it.
you have WhatsApp?
Yeah, I have.
This is your agenda. This is start.
Okay, so let's start with President's introduction. So go ahead.
Thank you, Santosh Babu. Now I would like to welcome you all to the general body meeting, and I'm going to present my report, President's report for the past year. So we had a very eventful 2017-18 from the last general body meeting to today's.
Can everybody hear at the back?
Sorry.
And also come forward.
Yeah, if you guys can
Yeah.
It will be loud.
Okay, I'll be a little loud. Yeah, but it will help if you could come.
There are a lot of open seats. Why don't you all come forward? We don't have a microphone here.
So I'll just repeat, I'm welcoming everyone to the general body meeting of 2018. And we had a very eventful 2017 year. That is from last convention in New Jersey until now. So I would like to just highlight few of the accomplishments what we did, and start with we had the convention last year, 4th annual convention in New Jersey, and it was very successful. And we had that was from August 4th to August 6th, and over 100 members attended. And I would like to thank Srivacha and his team for doing that successful work.
Thank you.
So moving to the second slide, and before that, I did not include this year's convention because it is ongoing, but still, so far what has been done is really very successful. And I would also thank the convention team here at San Francisco for doing this successful work. Okay, so this next slide is about NITROAA Scholarship Fund. As you know that we have established a scholarship fund for the poor, needy students in NITROAA Rourkela, undergraduate students. And those, as Gary Krishnan had mentioned yesterday, that there are some students who come from a very low income families, so and the cost of education, cost of the semester tuition and all that have gone up so much that they need some kind of assistance. And so that is why we established that. And in March 19, 2018, we signed, NITROAA signed a memorandum of agreement with the NIT Rourkela authorities to start this scholarship. So then we have the fundraising still going on. By that time, by June of this year, we had about $43,000 collected. That amounts to about 28 lakhs rupees in in Indian rupee. We have transferred that, and we have the plan of giving away 2 scholarships to 2 needy students for this year. And then as we go along, go ahead and we have more money, maybe we'll increase the number of scholarships. So they are about 40,000 rupees a year for each student. And now the NIT Rourkela authorities are going through the selection process to select the 2 students for us, and they will be awarded. We go to the next slide, and I want to acknowledge the efforts made by Mr. Gary Krishna, 1972. It is his brainchild, and what NITROAA did was it approved his proposal, and we formed a committee to manage that scholarship fund. So this committee is chaired by Gary Krishnan, and the other members are Dr. Devendra Das, 1972, and Mr. Sushil Panda, 1991. So I also would appreciate the help we got from Mr. Siva Prasad Rao back in India. He has been coordinating this effort, our efforts at NIT Rourkela level, because it's very difficult with this present situation to get everything done from here. So he has been coordinating, he has been talking to the director and others for that. So I would like to acknowledge that. So we go to the next slide. Then this is an appeal. Gary has done that. I would kind of repeat that. Please donate. Please open your purse and give some money to them, because these are poor students and they have a dream of getting the best education from one of the best institutes in India, and let us help them to get that. So your generosity is very much needed. So please donate. We go to the next slide. Okay, this is about Dr. Ajay Mahanti Endowment Chair. So this effort was started last year, and it was actually spearheaded by Dr. Bhuya. And we collected about 116,000. By the end of last year, we got about 106,000, but then we got some corporate funding from Cisco. That is, Dr. Mahanti's son works there, and he got that that support from Cisco. That's about $10,000. So that was, the total was $116,000. And of course, there was some money collected from India, from other sources. NITROAA also contributed some individuals, and I think 1970 batch also contributed. So I do not have the exact total number.
Total is 1 crore 30 lakhs rupees.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
So then it was for the recruitment of the chair professor. It was advertised, and the shortlist has been made, but I believe there's still pending some kind of approval. But I hope that will be done soon. I mean, it's a bureaucratic process in Government of India organization, so that is taking it so long. But hopefully we'll have a chair very soon, maybe by the end of the year. And I would like to mention something about, this has been the pioneering effort by NITROAA and NITROAA members. But very good. And then following that, there are 2 more endowment proposals have come up recently. One is for Professor Pani, S.S. Pani, who was the first head of the Department of Metallurgy Department, who passed away last year, or is this year? This year, okay. And I will request, after some time, after all these presentations are over, I will request Mr. Deva Mahapatra to speak a few words on that project. And the other one is in the name of Dr. A.K. Paul, who was the mechanical engineering professor. So his family has started endowment fund, and also that was underway. So that will be, when it comes to NITROAA board, they will decide and work on that.
Which department is that?
Mechanical.
Mechanical.
Abri Paul. I don't know.
AK Paul.
A.K. Paul.
AK Paul, yeah. Hardly anyone knew him.
I don't know if, A.K. Paul everybody.
Right.
I don't know when he retired, but
Yeah, right.
Then I think this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is about webinars, so I'll now speak about that. Then I'll talk about the visit to NIT Rourkela. When we went, myself and Gary Krishnan, we went to NIT Rourkela for signing of the memorandum of agreement. We also met with the director and his team, which was registrar and deans of the departments of the faculties. And we had a very fruitful discussion. We presented ourselves what NITROAA is, and at the same time, they also gave their feedback on what they want from us, from NITROAA, what are the requirements. So they gave us a list of that. Just few of them. One is that they want a distinguished Nobel laureate to visit. I mean, they want us to arrange that so they can visit NIT Rourkela. And there are other, the other thing was to arrange the the financial assistance for any students visiting this place. So we also, after that, we also met the faculty and we also met the students. So we kind of introduced what NITROAA is and got some feedback for that. Okay, another initiative which was started by Dr. Ranjan Das 1998 was D-Lab. D-Lab is Department Level Alumni Advisory Board. So it is something which will be enabling the alumni to work with the departments for research, enhancing the research, networking, finding jobs for the students, etc. So this proposal was presented or submitted to the director last year, and it is being processed. And as you know, as I had mentioned before, that the bureaucratic process takes a longer time. It has to go through the Senate, and after the Senate, somebody else has to approve. So it is still going on. I had discussed about that, and Ranjan, when he visited, I think a week after me, he also brought that up. So it is going on, but we'll have to wait for that. And this will be started with one department, that is ceramics department. And then after that becomes successful, I'm planning to do the same board formation in metallurgy, material science department. Now it's no longer called metallurgy. So that's my department. So I'm planning to do that. Okay, now the board is having, we have a 2-year term. So we had a new board formed, and we have something like people will be retiring, some people will be elected. So the nomination committee had got a good job of doing that. I welcome, the next item in the agenda is he will be presenting the board members, new board members. And I welcome all these new board members who joined. And I also am thankful to the retiring board members. I believe there are 5 who would be leaving us. But I'm thankful for their help, in kind of enhancing our NITROAA agenda or NITROAA mission statement. So I'm thankful to them. And finally, I would like to thank the nomination committee members. Dr. Nikunja Swain, he is not here. Dr. Manoj Mahanti is here. Then we have Manas Panda, then Mrityunjay Jha, and Vibha Patnaik. They also were the members, and I'm very much thankful to them for conducting that election very smoothly. Okay, then I just want to touch upon certain things like what we have been doing. It is networking, or how NITROAA network works. It is about a student. You want?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we've sent us
Okay.
combined slides, that's why.
I see, okay. So, well, these two, Alumni is going to cover more. It's about what the NITROAA members did to our community members, our alumni.
This one, I think now these two are them. Yeah, I think we send the combined presentation.
Okay. One thing I would like to mention here, I mean, yesterday we heard from other guests that they said that you should do something for the community in India, back in India, in rural villages. The Consul General mentioned about it, and there was another gentleman from Bay Area who's, I do not remember his name. He was from IIT. Rourkela, and no, the
So
guy.
the person who introduced Mahesh Pakala
Okay.
from Warangal, right?
Yes. So they said, why don't you do something? Why not NITROAA do something for the community? This is something I want to say. We are doing something.
Yes.
There is a international effort or initiative, Malaria No More. There should not be no malaria. And I mean, when we were younger, they said malaria is totally gone, but it is not true. It is still there. So there is this international effort going on, and I do not know how many of you know that, but 46% of the malaria cases in India are from Odisha. So I mean that issue has to be addressed. So recently a MOU was signed. Sribacha will elaborate that a little later. But I want to appreciate or recognize the effort of one of our alumni, Dr. Surya Mahapatra. Everybody knows him. And he was, I think the first CEO of, NIT Rourkela graduate, first CEO of a Fortune 500 company.
71 batch.
71 batch, yes.
Who else is 71 minutes? Who else is 71 minutes?
So he has been quite, he's quite active in this initiative. And there are other alumni from Odisha Society of America side, Sribacha, Lala Tendu, and others are also involved. I will request Sribacha to talk about a little bit more, because he knows more than what I know. So, and then at the end, this will be my last GBM, or as president, I will be handing over my responsibility to the next president who will be coming over, and also the executive committee which you had. We will be completing our term. So I would like to thank every one of us for giving us this opportunity of serving the NITROAA and doing something. It was really an honor to serve this organization, work for it, and it has been my passion for the last 20 years. So we have been able to accomplish some. We did not, but well, it's not the end of the world. We have next one coming up, next board, and there will be one.
Thank you.
Yes, I can. But
Okay, when you're done.
then several, numerous volunteers, they helped us in doing, getting forward. So I would like to thank everyone for that. I did not mention. I mentioned some of them during my presentation, but I would like to thank everyone for helping us. Thank you very much.
We will, he has agreed to take a few questions, so one at a time, let's not talk over one another. So if there are any quick 1 or 2, 3 questions addressed to him, go ahead.
Please.
It's not a question, it's a comment. Could you talk to me in detail, a little bit detail about malaria no more? And he mentioned that the effort from us is going to be more or less like a community effort. He's not looking for any financial support. He's looking for the spreading word in the interiors. And if you have friends and relatives whatsoever, just spread the word that what is this malaria no more is going to be.
Okay, in that, on that topic, since you started that was comment, so I would now take this opportunity to ask Sribacha to speak a few words.
So So I would like to thank you.
So I was just wondering why they did not elect the president, vice president, or whatever office bearer, so that right now we
I
could
think
see
that-
the faces.
That
So
one.
if you guys give it just a few more minutes, we have that.
No,
as part of our
we have
agenda.
one agenda item on
Vice
that.
election.
Yeah,
Yes.
so he will
speak
cover
to
that during that time. Okay.
Well, let's move on. Let's have secretary's report. That's the next item.
I'll be quick. First of all, thank you very much for coming here after last night's late night party. Thanks for being here. Appreciate that. We had combined our presentations, so some of the stuff that Virendra already touched upon, I'm just going to elaborate on that. Sachi mentioned something very nice. The focus that I want to keep it for these 5 minutes is, yes, we did a few things, but really some of those things can be done in a much more aggressive way going forward. So since you guys are all present here, I request you to take each of these topics and not just what was accomplished, but also how you guys could build upon it further. So think of it as the path down, even though it has been started upon. I'm on slide 2. It mentions about webinars. This is basically some of the things we did. We have this regular webinar. We tend to do it once a quarter. We did 3 last year. Some of our alumni conducted it. We talked about college admissions, which is a big topic with a lot of alumni with their kids coming up. We talked about savings for college. We talked about 5G and hyperconnected world. So these were very well received, especially the ones that were about college admissions, because it brings a very personal topic close to you. Now, the request for you guys going down is some of these topics we could have conducted maybe more webinars going down the road for the next 2 years. You guys need to figure out if we need to have it maybe once in 2 months. Should we go ahead and figure out some topics which are more popular than others? But it is something we started and we are happy about. But again, it is something which was well received, and hence we should definitely continue this forward a little more frequently. We had multiple committees formed from our convention last year. Student Outreach Committee, Membership Committee, Publication and Policy Committee. However, we were able to set those committees. We were able to work on one of those committees. We were able to get some student members, volunteers to help us out. Multiple people, including Manas, were involved in coordinating that effort. However, I think these committees are good start, good base. So in the next year or 2, we should build upon these committees, and we should try to reach the goal that we started when we formed these committees. We haven't been able to accomplish everything that we wanted to, but the foundation has been laid, so it's a good start. Please continue on that forward. I wanted to talk about some of the community initiatives that NITROAA and its members have helped tremendously in. All of us know we had a request from one of our own NITR alums who got into some sort of a financial mess because of multiple reasons completely out of our control. And at that point in time, she reached out to NITROAA for help. People like MJ and Bhupendra Singh Thakre, they came forward, they organized, they rallied the community, they set up a GoFundMe campaign, and more than $20,000 was collected for her. As a result of it, she was able to complete the last 2 semesters of her master's. She now has a job, is a lifetime member, and is a welcome part of our community. So thanks to the rallying effort by each and one of us, we were able to help this one person. And that's what the whole community, the NITROAA and NITR association that we have here is about. When one of us is in need, we come together and help them out. Really, I wish MJ was here. Besides the booze, he's been doing much better work as well. Though I support the booze cause as well. The next one, I wanted to talk about how one of our alumnus ended up getting meningitis while on vacation. Completely surprising development for him, a young guy. He's actually a year junior to me. And again, Balaji, Pradeep Singh Bassi, and some folks from Boston, they came together, they met him, they rallied the community, they raised, I think $52,000 was collected in less than 36 hours. Seriously, 75,000. I am way behind. $75,000. Thank you very much. So really, Balaji, take a vote. But again, it is Balaji who rallied all of us, but all of us came together for that cause. At this point in time, do you have any latest input on how he's doing?
The latest report is he's getting better day by day. He's still in the hospital. They're trying to move him to back to Toronto. They've removed the certain drainage that they're put in his head. They've removed that. They're monitoring him. They're assisting him to go through physical therapy. He'll be out of physical therapy soon. Then they'll take him down to Toronto.
Is he still in coma?
He's not in coma anymore.
Yeah. Well, so we wish him well.
It's still a long way, but he's on the
Right.
trend upwards.
I'll just add one more comment about that. I found out one Sunday night or Saturday night, and I posted that in WhatsApp group. And then Balaji was the first person who drove there 3 hours from his house.
Yeah.
My gosh.
And found out what is going on. Let us know the situation. He offered so many things. He offered his car for the family use. Yeah, I really applaud your effort for that. And of course,
Thank you very
Pradeep and others were also there.
So I remember that the last few conventions that I've been part of, we have these small sessions, small group sessions where we talk about how can we help out each other. Most of the times we talk about, can we assist when they come as students? Can we assist in networking, job, internship, those kind of very obvious things. But as the past year has taught us, sure, we've had alums connecting with each other. Suman is a good example of how our alum base has helped students to get jobs, get internships. I think I met someone yesterday who talked about how they got internship. But while these are absolutely what we need to do on a daily basis, to me, incidents like these are when you have a sudden calamity, like life happens, and then all of us have helped him out. This guy is a young guy with a very young child. So it's very important that we keep this in our mind, that jobs and internships are everyday affair, but this is where we need to come together, actively open our hearts, open our wallet. So thank you very much for that. To me, that's the biggest thing that I have tomorrow. If something happens to me, I know that if I reach out to a community, some of you will have my back. Hopefully.
Is that an appeal?
No, but I'm saying that that's the biggest thing of being a part of a community. We are like a safety net which tries to minimize the impact.
Elena, you didn't realize we have appointed Vivek to take care of that.
Oh, he's my safety net for the past 20 years. I needed to go beyond that. So again, I'm on slide 6, but I think this has already been covered by Birendra Babu, talking about the community efforts of malaria and how Dr. Sujay Mahapatra and others are helping out. So on a personal note, I'm at the end of my tenure. I won't be part of the board or the EC after the next 15 days. I have a 6-month, so selfishly, I'm a little happy as well. But at the same time, I told Birendra Babu, give me 5 years. I want to come back and be part of active part of this community, because this has been. I have a very soft corner. Those for REC Rourkela, NIT Rourkela. Those were my best years. I've got my husband, my best friends, thanks to REC, my degree, my foundation. So I want to give back. In the meanwhile, I will offer Vivek, to help out. But thank you very much. I really appreciate everybody's support. I value every connection that I've made here. If you guys are ever in Atlanta, please get in touch. I'd be happy to hang out with you. If you ever need any help, jobs, internships, otherwise, please reach out. Thank you very much. Yes, please. I'll be happy to take questions.
I think I was in a table yesterday and they were talking about immigration issues. I think that would be a good topic to bring a lawyer or bring somebody experts.
Yeah,
to
and
verify,
this
because
topic.
most of the young kids, they're just clueless right now.
Well, I'm glad he thinks I'm a young kid because I'm still screwed by the immigration process. So it is, we've been going through that ringer for 15 years now. It is very debilitating on many fronts. A lot of you already know. You're stuck in your job, in the location. You're just stuck in life. I mean, at this point in time, we're thinking of canceling our tickets to India because our lawyer said so many port of entries are being denied. Don't go if you don't have a need. It's come to a point where you have to question whether you want to go back to your near or your one. So yes, it will definitely be very helpful because in the current environment, regulations are changing so much. If we could have that as either a quarterly webinar or maybe an active session once in 6 months or even in a convention, I think that would be very, very helpful.
I have a suggestion.
It's very necessary.
Absolutely.
I have a suggestion.
Only thing is it's like a live thing. It changes the day after you meet this lawyer. That's a problem.
At least you have some clue.
Absolutely,
Because right
absolutely.
Now, everybody's in dark.
Absolutely. And Shivatsa, so just, we know that last year, Shivatsa, just, I'll give you this, I need to tell you this story. So we had that immigration lawyer come
She's still
in.
available.
That happened on Saturday.
Right.
On Sunday, after the picnic, I was actually already boarded in the flight. This friend of mine who, from my business school days, who I met, she lives in Boston. She had come down to New Jersey the day before the convention to meet me, right? So very fresh. I'm in the plane, she calls me saying, I need your help. My husband had gone to India on work from his office. He's stuck. They had him for 3 hours without any phone or not allowing him to contact anyone. And then they let him go. But his green card, which was an advance parole, they had canceled it on spot. So she said, I need to talk to someone because it's a Sunday, no one's picking, and it just came flooding back. I said, the lady had said, come back on a weekday, don't come on a weekend. I gave her that information. I think they went through, they're still going through the finalization process. The good news is most probably it'll be reinstated. But to give you a reference, to me, it couldn't have hit home better than that. So really very wonderful topic that you started, and I think we should have that every year.
So I have a suggestion. The suggestion is that instead of having these webinars or quarterly or anything, we should have a subscription-based service to any lawyers like we have in our corporate side. Similarly, as a big group, we should have people, yearly pay some money so that they will have, as a group concession, we can have this immigration service available to a lot of people, and they can. That will be a free service if they need.
Right. It's just like how, or even how companies have lawyers retained and you pay $15 every time you have a service, and
Correct.
so very nominal amount. That will be immigration lawyer would be helpful.
Okay,
one more.
Yes.
I just would like to add to this. We had this seminar last year, New Jersey, Nandini and Nayak.
Yes.
So after her talk, I had toyed with the idea of retaining her, but that costs money. So then I thought it should be on case basis. If somebody approaches me, then I will refer that way. I mean, that arrangement we can still have.
Because insurance, just like in lawyer insurance, we can have it with fun. Instead of hiring someone permanently, it's a kind of law insurance way. Anybody, whoever wanted. So if we have a sizable amount of people ready to get that insurance, the cost will be very minimal.
And it could be like wills or some minor legal issues, immigration, all those things.
That's something we can. The next board can.
He has a question.
Q&A in our website.
Can you
I do handle immigration for my business pretty much every day. D1, H1, green card, L1. So any of our guys, any support they need, I can help.
Okay.
See, that's the power of community again. Thank you very much.
We will move on at this phase. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you
We'll go to
again.
the treasurer's report next one.
All the best to the new board.
What is the financial?
Yeah, so there is the document is, I believe,
And NITROAA financial, right?
NITROAA 2008 financials or something. And for the people here, I would try to put this here.
He's going to do that.
Okay, mine are numbers, so it's going to be boring, but I'll try to go quick. Where is Nihar? I had a slide for him. He clearly doesn't like this meeting.
No, it's very difficult to get him at this too early.
Okay. Alright. And he wanted GBM to be starting at 8 a.m. So. Alright. My term started.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Mechanical engineering? Oh no.
He doesn't want to see it.
Much more better? Yeah. Try to do whatever I can. But so my name is Sachi Patti, 1996 AEI. My wife is sitting there, 1997 AEI. So NIT products, I guess. But 2016, middle of around this time, somebody volunteered my name to be the treasurer. You can ask my wife.
Good
Okay. But I took the role. I was coming up at treasurer role from a temple, very complex business. So this was almost nothing compared to that. But I took it on. So I'm going to cover both the terms, 2016, even though it has been covered before, 2016, 17, and 18 until now. The financially we have been doing pretty good. Considering this is a 4 or 5 year organization, could do a lot more, but we just have to make sure. We just have to make sure the finances or anything we do are in line with what we want to do. It's easy to raise money, it's easy to spend money, but it just needs to make sense and needs to be in line with what this organization is. 2016, we started with $7,000 or so. We ended with $22,000. Deb Babu here did the convention. He returned a total of $22.70 to the convention. But not bad for a third convention.
I didn't lose money.
You didn't lose money at all, so yeah.
That's always important.
It is. And then 2017, of course, was our next big year. That's the year we introduced, I believe, we used Professor Bhuiya's endowment fund. We introduced, I mean, it is not a NITROAA project, but we use NITROAA platform in the tax ID to raise money for that. And we'll talk about that in a little later, but that year we ended with 83,000. And Srivacha did the convention. You all saw what he did last year. He returned $5,254.78 to NITROAA. Out of that, 1,550 was membership money. So that's, again, the money is not the matter here. The money speaks for the number of increased membership. And then 2018 is until August 1st. This thing is computing for. So we started with 83,000 and we have $142,000, and that of course includes all the California convention team. I believe as of August 1st the income was 157,000 and they had spent around 66, but all the other bills hadn't come, the large bills, so they'll spend probably all of that. So those are all the quick financial summaries for 2016. All the cost
members.
Yeah?
How many live members per day?
As of Friday there were 15 probably.
Total life members, Virendra, what is the number as of
Life member is 300 something.
380 was something I had seen, but there have been new ones. I don't have the numbers.
We have 41 or so.
400. Close to 400. Sandeep Babu's goal is being met. His was just a 500 goal.
Right.
So we need some dedicated. So again, the financials are good. These are high numbers of financials, but I'll talk about some highlights. We talked about Professor Bhuiya's. He and Dr. Devendra Mohanty from worked with a few people to do this Joe Mohanty Endowment Fund. NITROAA raised $117,250, and we gave all of them. We spent some money on the wire fee and all. That's complete. We don't have anything going on in NITROAA. We use that, and that was a big thing. These things make us now a more complicated organizations, because you more than $50,000, you have a 30-page form we need to fill, and that is every board member who was in the board and who is going to be. Your social security numbers are in the tax filing, so you are responsible for that. That's why, as a board member, all the new board members, I don't want to scare you, you have to know everything about finances.
So we should spend the money, bring it below 50,000.
That's another way not to scale your organization if that's your mission. Yes, but it is important. The 2017, because of Suvacha's convention and Professor Jamandi Foundation, we went above 50,000. So our job for tax filing became very complicated, and we actually just finished 2017 tax. So all the board members, you can ask them, They had to give their address, social security number, block group, everything. They had to sign it up, of course. So. And next one is the NITROAA Scholarship Fund. Gary Kristunji, it's going on. We have already dispersed 43,000 out of 47,000, and it's going on. It's in a pause mode. I think it's going to kickstart tomorrow after the convention is over. This is important. What I want everybody to know. So 2016 tax filing was complete, postcard version because of under 50,000. We finished the independent audit. We always do. 2017 tax filing, long form completed. 2017 independent audit. We gave it to 3 auditors. One said no, and then 2 others, they got documents. One of them certified, the other auditor is still working on this. Palasi is still working on it. But I don't select, treasurer does not select the audit committee, president does select. And we want that to be as independent as it can, so they can ask questions. And then at some point, depending on how much money we have, we can bring in not Ernst & Young, not those big ones, but some independent auditors who are professionals. And then for the next board, 2018, 2 things you'll have to do as soon as 2018 is finished. Tax filing long form 992, which will include all of California convention, which is going to be a very big deal because there's a lot of money involved there, and then an independent audit. So that's for the new board to create. I did send this out, and there's a Google Drive, everything is there. There's a bunch of 25 documents, all the guys who love numbers. If you don't, go look for this, ask questions, these are your numbers, everything is out there. Few things I want to highlight. What is IRS guidelines? People ask me, well, can I do that? Frequent to ask, well, why is our mission doesn't allow us to spend here and there? These are hard questions. We have a mission statement which can be changed by bylaws, by things like this, resolutions. But until that is changed, somebody has to apply the judgment that you can spend here or not. You can spend as much as, if you are collecting money on a 501c3 category, whether it is somebody is donating or it's a corporate match, can you spend that money on booze, having a party? It doesn't feel right. Can you spend it throughout a day talking about things to develop your alumni organizations, and during that can you drink some wine? I think so. That's a judgment, what you do, what you don't. Will we get in trouble? I don't know. If we get into trouble, we have to have documents to prove that all the money which was raised in the name of 501c3 was spent in the missions of NITROAA. There is no restrictions for us to get money internationally or spend money. I personally called IRS. The answer was just as long as it's in line with your mission statements. The only thing is, if we're getting money internationally or giving, we just have to keep track of the documents because of the anti-terrorism laws, and this treasury has a list. So you can't receive money from Iran. We can't give money to Iran. That would cause, it'll take 24 hours for us to lose our license if we did that. So I highlighted a few of the things. Again, this is best of my understanding, based on 3-4 organizations I've been working on. I'm also a treasurer in OSA right now. But sometimes I interpret them very aggressively, so that I make some of you unhappy. But I just try to do this for our organization. And remember, we can change the bylaws, we can change the constitution. If something doesn't fit today, we can do that. But as long as that is there, and whoever will be the next treasurer, I will give these pieces of advice. We have to be extremely aggressive on documentation, decision making, and keep track. That's all. So that's all I have. Any questions?
I have a question. Is attendance in this meeting tax deductible?
Is you flying in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my understanding is this: if NITROAA spent the money, like if we brought you in, if we bought ticket.
No, if I came on my own.
You came on my own. That is not considered. It's not a donation.
Right.
You didn't donate, right? You just spent it.
Oh.
Yeah. You didn't. If NITROAA spent the money, but NITROAA constitution does not allow us to spend any money on any board meetings.
So my expenses are not tax deductible?
No, because that's not considered donation.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, if you have a business,
Yeah, that.
then you can provide it.
Yeah. The other way could be done, not right, but I will tell you that you make a donation and I give you back a ticket. But that the moment I did that, I gave you something of value or services, and that shouldn't be.
Two more questions. Go ahead, and
Yeah, I know his questions, a comment. I mean, I know how complex managing finance and all that. And let's give a big round of applause to Sachin.
And after he filed 990 funds, 990 is not easy.
Ali has a question, but let it go.
Because we both were treasurer in OSA,
Yeah.
what we had happened, we go through all the details. At the end, in the general body meeting, we present to the general body meeting,
Yeah.
and general body approves that one.
Yeah.
Once it's been approved, it is basically we got an authenticity that things are correct and everything is fine.
Yeah.
So do you have that kind of clause in our constitution that the general body should approve that one so that the treasurer and everything is in order?
So we have the auditors, and I just proposed.
No, we have the auditor too.
Yeah,
We
I
have the auditor
don't.
too.
I have never asked for an approval, but I did send this a week ago. If there is no, if you know, if
No, but you should know. Here what happened? You write down
No,
your.
what we do is,
you know,
our procedure is that at the end of this meeting, we submit the minutes of the meeting to the general membership. And if they have any questions, then we answer that. And then the next general body, when the minutes are approved,
Approved.
that means everything is approved.
Okay, address.
That includes
We
the
do not
report.
have
That's
anything
okay.
specifically to that effect in the bylaws, but as a practice, it goes into the minutes of meetings, and then next month, when we have the board
No, it will
meeting.
be next year because the
Sorry,
GBM.
this is the GBM, so next
Yeah.
year, you go through it, and then if
No,
everybody's
no,
okay.
Ma'am,
you
because
go.
I wanted it like a clarification
No,
that it should be. Yeah, that's okay.
I
That's
just
okay.
would like to add one thing there about we have raised money for NITROA for several reasons. And what we do because of these IRS regulations, we have a very strict vetting process. We have